Social learning theory. In this session, we will describe social learning theory, discuss the main constructs, address strengths and limitations, and provide some examples and research. It's difficult as individuals to change behaviors, and as dietitians, it's even challenging to encourage our clients to make changes. Behavior change theories guide clinicians in developing strategies for promoting nutritional change. Behavior change is necessary when adopting healthful dietary practices. Healthcare professionals can facilitate change by understanding behavioral change theories and their role in behavior change. An integration of social learning theory in nutrition care can contribute to changes in maintenance of healthful nutrition practices. How would you get a child to try a new food? What could you do to stop eating chocolate? How can I get my family to eat more fruit? And how can we get customers in the hospital cafeteria to choose healthier options? All of behavior can change by demonstration, imitating others, and observing behaviors. Bandura identified principles of social learning theory as a way to bridge cognition and behavior. The basic premise is how we learn from social experiences. It emphasizes the importance of observing and modeling the behaviors, attitudes, and emotional reactions of others. People learn through observation. They form an idea of behavior, performance, and they use this as a guide for future action. The theory is continuous reciprocal interaction among cognitive, behavioral, and environmental influences will lead to behavior change, or could lead to behavior change. Social learning theory constructs. The main constructs include modeling, or copying behavior. Models are individuals who are being observed, are surrounded. We're surrounded by influential models, family, friends, television, teachers. They all provide examples of behavior that we can observe and imitate. These examples can be external or internal. They can be positive or negative. The positive are the ones you want to observe or imitate. The negative is behavior you don't want to copy. So, observation of consequences, it's what happens with behavior. This consequence could direct if that behavior is copied or not. Response to a behavior with reinforcement or punishment also can direct if that behavior continues or stops. So social learning theory stresses the interactive nature of behavioral capacity, having the skills required to perform the desired behavior. Efficacy expectations, that we have belief in our ability to successfully accomplish a course of action or perform a behavior. And outcome expectations, we have to have belief that behavioral performance will have the desired effects or consequences. All of those are required if we want to change behavior and see that we're successful in that change. Meditation. Individuals don't automatically see a behavior and imitate. They have to think about this. There's thought before copying. And there are 4 meditational processes. Attention. We need to learn that we should be focused, that we're focused on the task. Retention. We learn by internalizing information or our memories. We recall information later when we are required to respond to a situation. And we remember what we first learned. Reproduction. we reproduce previously learned information or behavior. And motivation. We need to be motivated to do things. We need to motivate. And motivation originates from observation of someone else being rewarded or punished for their behavior. We identify with another person. They're influential. They may involve a number of behaviors that influence our behaviors, and those behaviors could be adopted or changed. How does this work? So the focus is on the behavior and the change, and what is the reward for that behavior change, and what are the reinforcements. One has to realize as professionals that we need to assess that the patient or client is ready to make a change, that they have the level of confidence that a behavior change is essential. They have to have the confidence that will contribute to their motivation, and that the behavior can change even if there are obstacles. Social learning theory does have its limitations. It doesn't account for emotional or physical changes. It doesn't explain the behavioral differences, why one person is behaving a certain way and why would they consider changing a behavior. It doesn't take into account what an individual would view as a positive and negative behavior. What one person thinks is positive, another may think is negative. And what is viewed as punishment and what is viewed as a reward mean different things to different people. And there are some ethical issues that can make it difficult to test experimentally. We cannot expose individuals or groups to negative behavior to assess behavior change. The strengths include that social learning theory provides an accurate picture of how behavior is learned. It can be applied to various populations and different behaviors. It is a positive approach because it's assumed that we're changing behaviors for good. It does provide explanation of behavior, and it easily explains differences or how behavior change is affected. There are some very successful uses of social learning theory, mostly education. Social modeling is a very powerful method of education. If people see positive consequences for a type of behavior, they're more likely to repeat that behavior. Children especially. Also, conversely, if negative consequences are the result of a particular behavior, someone may be less likely to perform that behavior. Students might be motivated to pay attention or eat certain foods if they see others around them also paying attention or eating certain things. It's also a very successful tool in changing behaviors of people with addictions. One of the studies that I came across was on a curriculum based on social learning theory that emphasized fruit exposure and a positive parent-child feeding strategies. This was a pilot study that examined the effectiveness of a nutrition intervention program for children to enhance their knowledge, preferences, and intake of whole fruit, while also decreasing the parents' controlling child feeding behaviors. The study was done with 5th and 6th graders, children who are 10 to 12 years old. There were 9 child-parent pairs that completed the study. 17 who were interested but could not attend all session were used as controls. The curriculum combined child-focused social learning theory lessons that were interactive, and they were skill building, against parent-focused social learning theory lessons on child feeding strategies to increase children's fruit intake, and the changes were measured. The results indicate that there was significant increase in knowledge and fruit intake by children in the experimental versus the control groups. fruit preference scores were similar between groups, and there was a significant decrease in the use of controlling feeding strategies in the parents in the intervention group versus the control group, indicating that social learning theory was very effective in a nutrition intervention program for children. That concludes this session, and these are the references.